Space, the final frontier.
Welcome to the Age 30 and Over YouTube experience. Today is finally the day I will reveal my choice for the greatest Star Trek episode of them all. Cue Buddy Rich. Have you guessed it yet? Let's take a look at some clips.
Now this episode starts with a wedding. Look at the yeoman. It's almost like she wants to marry Kirk.
That of uniting two people in the bonds of matrimony.
Alert! Alert! All decks, alert! 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 Captain Bridge! All decks, alert!
Kirk here.
Earth Outpost 4 reports they're under attack. Space vessel, identity unknown.
Full ahead. All decks, condition red.
At the start of this episode, the Enterprise has some outposts along the edge of the Romulan neutral zone that have been attacked and destroyed. Now this ship has been hitting Federation outposts who have some kind of super metal that we can see here in this scene has been turned to basically cheap plastic.
Now the Enterprise is unable to see the Romulan ship because it's cloaked, but Spock intercepts a signal so he can see what's going on the Romulan bridge.
We wait until we can get a Romulan's face, and there it is! It's Spock's father! Spock's father is the Romulan commander! Well, no, he's not. It's just he played a Romulan commander before he got the role of Spock's father. But notice that a Romulan looks more or less exactly like Spock. This episode, Balance of Terror, came out halfway through the first season. And I think it's at that time that we see Starship Enterprise really start to have some amazing shows. Some of those shows in the first season were astoundingly good, and Balance of Terror stands above them all. It becomes a cat and mouse game between Kirk, the pursuer, and his prey, the Romulan commander. The Romulans are low on fuel, they've expended all this energy, they have a cloaking device, they've got to get home, they barely have enough energy left, they just want to get out of there. And Kirk's responsibility is to take them out before they get into Romulan space. In fact, Kirk and the Romulan commander kind of develop a mutual admiration society where each is praising the other's moves. It's classic stuff, and I'm going to drill down on a couple of instances that show us the definition of Jim Kirk. So let's watch the beginning of the cat and mouse game.
Its many particles will obscure their sensing device, Centurion.
Intruder now bearing directly for Comet's tail.
Plot is exact point of entry, Mr. Stiles.
And watch Kirk here. He seems to really enjoy this game. Look at the little smile he's going to give here at the end.
End run, gentlemen. We'll swing around the other side and catch him at that moment.
We're losing sensor contact.
Steady as she goes. Phaser crews ready?
Phaser crew signal ready, sir.
He'll only be visible for a moment. Stand by.
Now, things don't quite go to plan. At the last minute, the Romulan commander is turned back onto Kirk and has not come out of the comet where he was expected to. Now at this point, Kirk's trying to dodge him, but the Romulan commander manages to get off a shot with this super plasma stuff that's been blowing away practically entire planets, and all seems doomed for the Enterprise. Now in this next clip, which is one of my absolute favorites in everything in Star Trek, you're going to see the plasma stuff closing in. Kirk and the yeoman get a little bit of action. Haven't you always wondered what that relationship was really like when they weren't filming? And you're going to see a moment that is my favorite moment of Jim Kirk.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, impact.
Limited range.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Limited range. And in that moment, the warrior in Jim Kirk. You know, we've heard it alluded to in several episodes throughout the entire series. Kirk the warrior, oh that was war, there are no good ways to die, war is very messy. That somehow you get the impression he's been in all these giant wars in his backstory, and of course he has, even though the series didn't go into them. But on that comment, limited range, and the way Kirk throughout this episode seems to enjoy this cat and mouse game shows that Kirk can be the predator that he in reality is. It's another dimension to his character besides his incredible leadership skills, his humor, his toughness, his questioning himself. Here, it's Kirk the warrior. Kirk and the Romulan commander kind of develop a mutual admiration society, let's take a look at some clips that bear that out.
He did exactly what I would have done. I won't underestimate him again.
You may think we're destroyed, Captain.
I wouldn't make that assumption. I don't think their captain will either.
The Earth vessel? Impossible.
Moves as we move.
Its commander is not one to repeat a mistake. No, he's shrewd, this starship commander. He tries to make us waste energy.
I say he's been fooled. He must have gone on.
Shh. He is there. Somewhere. I feel it.
Oh, Commander. How?
He's a sorcerer, that one. He reads the thoughts.
You and I are of a kind. In a different reality. I could have called you friend.
What purpose will it serve to die?
And of course, Balance of Terror ends with Kirk managing to sucker in the Romulan commander, coming close for an easy kill, but the Enterprise is not so wounded as it appears and blows the Romulans away. That was expected. I think what wasn't expected in this episode when I watched it for the first time in 5 years is how good this really is. A tremendously paced episode from start to finish. I was surprised at how much on the edge of the seat I was. It doesn't have that usual Star Trek hokey thing in it, and I think it might be unique in that regard that it doesn't have a single kind of humorous moment in it. This is a very powerful piece of work, and it's a tour de force for William Shatner. At the end of the episode, we find out that only one casualty happened on the USS Enterprise that day. That was Tomlinson, the boy who was getting married at the beginning of the show. Kirk has to console his fiancée here in the chapel at the end.
You both have to know that there was a reason.
Now watch this. As soon as Kirk is done expressing his emotional size, his vulnerability, he steps out through the door into the hall, and look at him walk off. In command, in charge, Captain James Tiberius Kirk.